Hello out there in YouTube land, it's Kaylee here, or Ravenheart of Ravenheart Modelling, and this is my new YouTube channel, and I'm going to be taking a look into the world of modelling, which I've been into as a kid. I'm going to be looking at some good model railway kits, some good airfix kits, anything that I can get my hands on, including this layout behind me, Ford Minster, which you'll see grow over time. So we'll start off with a nice and easy one, and yeah, let's get into it. So this is the kit that I'm going to be starting off with. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I am really into Star Trek. So picking this up for £57 at Porthmadog Models and using some Christmas vouchers actually really made sense. This is a snap together kit, and it's made by Polar Lights, and it is Chinese made, 28 part, 12-inch long USS Discovery, which is a crossfield class, if anybody's out there who is as Trekkie as me. So it's nicely packaged. It looks good. Yeah, let's start looking into it. Right, so let's get into it. So the box is pretty good. It comes with these water slide transfers, which we're going to have to put on, and it comes with a little stand. So let's see what it is like inside the box. So I'm getting my rusty, oh look at that, that's terrible, rusty craft knife. I'm going to have to open my other one soon. I'm only using this because I'm opening a box with it, and I'm not going to be using it to cut any parts out. So let's do this along the lines. There we go. It's not actually cutting very well at all, but it is blunt. So this was just all I had to hand at the time. There we go. So that's that. So we've got the protective film, which most people just rip off anyway, so I don't know why I'm being so special about it. Right, so it comes in this little box. It's a Snap It brand. I don't know if you can see. It's a Snap It toy. Or should I say model? It's a model kit, not a toy. It's got there we go. It's got some quotes on the box. So blink, you're an Ilari. Blink, the moons of Andoria. Blink, you missed Romulus. All those planets, all those places, all those species seen and yet to be seen. Gabriel Walker. That's a bit nerdy, isn't it? But I am a big nerd, so there we are. Okay, so what have we got in this box? I'm assuming that these are all of the water slide transfers, being on nice blue paper. Put those to one side. We've got a nice big instruction manual, and this is assembly instructions, and it's a little bit like an IKEA construction. So we've got it's a snap fit construction, so we shouldn't need any glue or anything like that. We should just be able to snap it together. But let's find the correct pieces. So has it got a piece directory on it? No, it doesn't. Okay, or is it on the back of the box? No, that's the decal. Okay. Oh, these are paints actually. So it's not just a click together model, it needs painting as well. So that's something. I'll need to get some paints for it and do this in several parts. So we've got some clear parts there, and then the rest of them seem to be in this beige tan colour. So Move the box out of the way for a moment. There are also, I'm told, alternative decals for the ISS Discovery from the Mirror Universe. So we shall see. We shall see. In fact, I want to see now. Let's get my rusty knife out again. Sounds good on a modelling stream, doesn't it? Get my rusty knife out. It's bent as well. Right, let's see what we got. What have we got here? So yes, we've got, so that's the water slide sheet. We've got, oh, there's different registries as well. There's the USS Glenn 1030. You can see that over here. So the 1030 down there. We've got the 1031, which we know is Discovery. And we've got the ISS there. So we can put that on instead of the USS. And they've got the ISS there as well for the large registry. So that's interesting that they've done that. That's really, really, that's really good actually. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that there are no real other differences between the ISS and the USS. They'll come to light as we see them, I suppose. Cool. Okay, so, and 2 water slide sheets because there's 2 sheets of water slide transfers. Okay, let's now open the bag here. Okay, and I'm terrible at opening bags as well, it would seem. Chop my fingers off opening the bag. Okay. So what do we have here? We've got like the base. They are all numbered, so that's good. They all appear to be numbered. So, yes, so they're numbered on there. So we need number 1 and number 2 first. So you can see they are on sprues. And I've got to say, I'm not greatly impressed with the quality of the moulding. There's quite a lot of flashing around it. So if you can see all of the flashing down here where it connects in, and but the basic state of the flow lines in the plastic as well. So I don't know, we shall see. And there's quite a lot of flashing up here as well. I know you get flashing in most kits, and it's not of great concern if you've got some sharp knives, but that I'd be expecting a little bit more for the price I paid for it, to be honest. So these are the nacelles. Nacelles. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then you've got the other side. So minimal, absolutely minimal pieces, but it should be easy to assemble. So let's see, shall we? Right. So what we've got here, we can see that we've got different colours: silver, bronze, clear blue, and clear red. And as I understand it, they should be for the plastic bits and the sort of like the lights and such. So we've got all the numbered decals on here as well, so we can see where the decals are going to go. But as for paint, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that, so you have to bear with me. It also says decal setting solution may be required to settle decals over complex surface contours and details not included. Check with your hobby retailer. So that's one to note about this kit. Okay. Full colour paint and decal guide. Okay, so let's carry on. So the one thing that I've got to do now is get out some sharp knives. That's number 2. So it's the other one, which is number 1. And I'll bring my cutting mat over. Because as much as the silicone soldering mat is good, it doesn't make for easy cutting surfaces. So let's have a look at this. So that's the front. I do have some brand new knives that have come from Bachmann themselves, courtesy of Model Craft Collect in Hinckley. This was a modelling knife set, and it was £10.95. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Comes with 3 knives and a number of blades and a magnetic blade holder if you don't stab yourself in the meantime. So, without further ado, let's start cutting the sprues. So, let's just... There we go. Okay. Where are we? Is it better doing it that way up or that way up? There's quite a lot of flex whichever way you do it, so I think it's going to have to be this way up. If I do that, 1, 2, and I will probably swap this blade out because this is might actually go in there. Just don't want to end up taking any of that off. There we go. That's better. Let's take that off. So that is number 3, I believe. Yep, that's number 3. So what I need now is number 1. Is this. Okay, so it's that. And that. And that. So this is the first bit. Yeah. This is a little loose, this knife here, and it keeps coming undone a little bit, so just want to be aware of. I'm going to take another knife, and where we've got these little bits of sprue on the side that have come off as I've cut it, I'm just going to go ahead, just trim those a little bit, not much, just to get the worst part off. Okay. My light back down again. Okay. There we go. That's 1. Then next one. It's there and go. There's a little bit of flashing on the side there. I want to get off. Go. And that one's fine. Okay. It's just... Okay. So I'm happy with that. That's quite good. Still not happy with the the moulding flow, but not much we can do about that, to be honest. So there's actually quite a lot of sort of sprue on the inside edges. I don't know if you can see if I point this down here, but on the inside edges in here, for example, there's quite a lot of sprue where it's overflowed in the mould slightly. So there's a little bit in here I need to take out. You can see what I'm doing. Very, very, very lightly taking some of this off with the knife. Trimming it down. Get it nice and neat. Making sure to keep the knife clean as well, so you can see what you're doing. So take some of that off, and that, and that. I'm not being paid by anybody to show this model. It's just a model that I've bought out of my own money. Well, vouchers from Christmas anyway. I just enjoy making models. So let's just take some of that off there. Of course, when you've got a little bit of dithers like I have, it becomes a little bit more difficult to keep a straight line and steady. But I'll never make the greatest modeler in the world, but so long as the outcome is nice and aesthetically good, I don't mind. Okay. So I think that's quite nice and neat now. Doesn't seem to be any more defect on the bottom of the saucer. So what do we need? We need the other half of the saucer now. So let's go over to the other section, and I'll use my had it on the upside down last time, didn't I? So do that. Okay. And again, we've got some of these. This is where I've sort of left a little bit on when I've gone and cut it off, but this one looks a lot better in terms of flashing around the burrs and the flashing around the outside of the moulds. So could just have been a dodgy mould for that one. Who knows? Let's have a look and see. So let's take the knife to this. Goes through there. Okay, goes through there. Now we'll take then that. Of course, this is all going to be painted anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much, I should imagine. Mind you, if it doesn't get painted, then it'll show through. So I need to be neat with it. Okay, so that's the pressure to take off these sprues. I keep calling them sprues, they're burrs. I mean, call them burrs. Right, I know what I'm talking about in my head. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that one is quite good. So those two now should be fitting together quite nicely. Let's see. There's line them up like that, so that the lines are there and that the cross beams are there. And this being a snap together kit, we should just be snapping it together. There's not much snapping going on, I must admit. I'm putting the pressure on, and I don't know, that seems to have worked for the most part. It's just you can see on the inside. I'll show you my pencil. On the inside here, there's a nice big join, and I'm not sure if that's because it will be hidden by the bridge when the bridge goes in, but or whether it's just because I haven't pushed it in far enough. And this section here is a little bit flimsy. I sound like I'm really dragging the kit. I'm actually quite liking it, to be honest. It's refreshing not to have to use any modelling glue. But that's the first bit done. So that's number one. That's the saucer section done, 1 and 2 together. Next thing we need to do is we need to assemble one of the nacelles, and then we'll assemble the other nacelle. So let's find the nacelles. Let's put my screws back over there, and I assume that we are going to now need some of the transparent nacelle parts. So let's have a look at. We need number 7, which is on the dark part, and that will be on the nacelle sprue, which is over here. Let's put this to one side for a moment. So I think I took number 3 off too early. I'll keep that to one side. That's the main hull. So number 7 is, because I'm upside down, number 7 is this one here. So I flip it over as before, and that, there, and there. Okay, so that's number 7. And we need number 6 as well, which is the one next to it, which makes sense. Okay, that is number 6 and number 7. And then we've got 5 and 8, which relate to the other ones on the drawing, so that's fine. I'm going to now deburr all of these as well. So how much should be on this one? I think it should be out to there. There we go, we'll do that to there. I think it should be there. Just tidy that end up a little bit. Okay. Now we'll tidy up this side. Trying not to destroy my fingers as I do it, and make sure that you can see as well. Okay. That's good. We also need to take off from this side. Yeah. Probably do it down here just so that I don't show you all going to A&E. Right, that's that. And that, I think. Yeah, that part is supposed to be on the inside, I think, so that's fine. And last but not least, I need to know how much of this. I think that should be square at the end. So we've got this little bit of sprue here that's still connected. So I think I need to about there. And there we go. I fired that off to the other side of the office. Right, okay, so now let's trim off some of this. Again, it's got some flashing on the side, some burrs from the moulding process, but actually it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, so that's one done. Now I'm going to get these confused because one of them is a number 7 and one of them is a number 6. But they both look very much the same. Oh, mind you, this is the bottom one, so this must be number 6 and that must be number 7. That makes sense. Okay. So we're going to go over here. Okay. And what I've done here is a rookie error. So I've gone at an angle with the knife, and the knife being sharp, I've taken a little bit of that out with me. So I need to tidy that up a little bit. See, everybody makes mistakes. Been modelling for years. Still make mistakes. Or as the legendary Bob Ross says, happy little accidents. Okay. I think that's fine. What I can do is, if that causes any issues later on, I can use some milliput on it and just fill the gap. I'd have to sand it at that point and paint it, but I think that's well worth the risk. So let's go down there. There we go. Cool. And that's okay. That's done that. I just need to get that a little bit flattened out there. There we go. Right. Then go, that's that. And again, on the end, I'm just going to take this little bit off here. There we go. So that's nice and square at the end. Okay, so we've got 2 of those. Now, what I need is, and I'm assuming that because they're on white backgrounds, that means they are on the clear sprue. Let's have a look and see. Okay. Excellent. So, which pieces do we need? So we need 105, which is this one. Do that. The clear sprue doesn't make it easy to cut through. It's a lot harder to cut through than the other one. Of course, trying not to break these pieces as you go. There's that, and Okay. Now we need part number 108, which is this one here. Okay. That is that. Okay, so part number 108, and we'll take the next little bit of sprue off there. That goes to the side there. Okay. Now, I'm going to, again, tidy this up very quickly. That is just a little bit on there. That. And just a little bit on this side, like that. And I just like that. Okay. And this has got there we go. And just this last little bit over here. In fact, there's a little bit still left on there that I need to. Okay. And this last bit here. Now, try not to break the piece while I'm. There we go. Right. There we go. That's nice and neat. I can't see any more. Needs to come off. This is quite a flexible piece, so it's just being very, very careful of what I do with it. So now this is the point at which I need to figure out what colours are going where. So we've got clear blue, and we've got clear red, bronze, silver, and light gold. So these are, it's interesting because they don't actually show you where these are going to go. Oh, I see. So this is in two parts, so they can't fit the whole thing on because it's too big. So that's the rear part. And it has got that slight little blue in there. So it's got that. So this is a side view, and it's got the blue strip down the nacelle, which I'm assuming is provided by this. However, I'm not entirely sure. And the instructions on this are not great for the paint. I'm going to have a look at the decals. I'm going to see if there's anything on the decal sheets that could be... No, I don't think there's anything on there that could be nacelle blue. Right, so we're expected to paint that. So do we know how we expect to paint? So let's have a look. If a modeler chooses to clear their model, it's recommended that the instructions be examined carefully, blah, blah, blah. Decals and paint. This kit includes extensive water slide decals. Note that the large areas of Aztec paneling decals are applied first, allowed to dry, and a second set of smaller decals, primarily marking decals, are placed on top. These decals are compatible with setting solution, which can be applied to conform a round surface. Details paint is not required to produce satisfactory results. However, some modelers prefer to add additional painted detail to their kit. See the diagrams on this sheet for instructions regarding decal placement and optional paint specs. Okay, so let's have a look on the back then. So here we go. It says these are the decals to apply first. These are the decals to apply last. Close look of which pennant decal decals on which should be applied on different versions. Okay, so these are different. So D is Discovery, G is Glen, M is Mirror Universe. Okay, so it's, for all of that, doesn't really give you an idea of what to paint. Unless I'm missing something here. See the diagrams on this sheet for instructions regarding decal placement and optional paint specs. Well, I see no paint specs on here. And I see only slice decals as indicated by dotted lines to wrap saucer edges. I don't see any paint indications anywhere. So, in this case, I am going to have to, I think, use my noggin. Right, do I have some light blue? I believe I do. Have a look in my trusty little pot of paint. So these are all the paints mainly for my 7 class lifeboat, which I have yet to make. But I do have in here, that's kind of more sky blue for military aircraft. I do have some gloss enamel blue that is probably a bit too dark. So, seeing that, I'm probably going to have to do this in another step. So, what I plan to do in the next phase, if I can close this up, what I plan to do in the next step then is to paint the top and the bottom of this part in light blue, because the nacelles themselves have, when they're together, have a light blue strip going down them along the outside. So that's what we'll be achieving by painting this blue on the top and the bottom, and then the light will focus through, picking up that blue from the top and bottom and shine out the side, we are hoping. So once that is done, I'll be able to put those in. And the same with the Bizarre Ram Scoop collectors. They go at the end and they are typically blue as well. So I've now got some blue paint. So what I'm using is some electric blue by the Army Painter War Paints. That's an acrylic. I've got some, found out some red as well, some of the Tamiya. I've got some white, which they didn't actually have on the board, but they also said that I'd need some bronze. So I've got Evil Chrome, again by the Army Painters War Paints. Now those are meant for washes and airbrushes. So let's see how they work. Now, one of the things I've realised is that my paintbrushes aren't very organised. So one of my other projects on another video will be designing my own paint pot in 3D for my modelling stuff, and actually printing it, because I have a 3D printer, so we shall see. But for now, what I'm going to do is I've taken out all of the glass parts from that sprue there that are needed to be blue. As far as I know, I don't know whether any of the others need to be blue just yet, because I haven't got quite that far in the instructions, but I've done both of the nacelles. So that will be where I start. with my gay and tired mug. That is one of my favourite mugs. Right. Also got this quite handy helping hand situation going on here, which is really useful. So I'm just going to use this lid here to get some of the acrylic out. I'm going to give it a good shake beforehand. It says shake well before use. Now, when you're shaking stuff, though, just make sure to keep a finger on the top, because the last thing anybody wants is this everywhere. So, and it actually comes in this little squirty bottle like an eyedropper. That is more than enough for what I need, I believe. So, and what I'm going to do, what I'd said previously was I was going to do it on top and bottom, and I was going to actually, create a through issue. In fact, I got a little bit of bit more flashing on there, I've just noticed. So I'm just going to do that. But I said I was going to do it on top and bottom and let the light shine through with the colour. Well, actually, this colour's not really strong enough to be able to do that with. So I'm just going to do it on the outside. And whilst this is a glass panel, having it on the outside should be fine. It shouldn't affect the way that it's done. So let's just sort that out very carefully. Right, okay, that's done. Right, so I'm going to start off with, which brush should I start with for this one? Just want, I don't need a big one, but I don't need one that's going to be super detailed either. I've got one down here which is just a basic, standard brush. It's number 2 by Cola Moon. But I'm going to start off with a number 2 brush. And I've got my pot of water here, obviously, to do the washing of the brush. So I'm going to start off very, very basic. And I'm going to actually hold it while I do it, because it's quite flexible and these go all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to down the side, using the side of the brush, and it's gone over the edge there. I'll just pick some more up. My hands aren't, as I said before, they're slightly dithery, so painting little things like this is always a little bit of a challenge, but not insurmountable. I think that's the thing, is that modelling is for everybody, and it doesn't matter if your model is brilliant or historically correct or doesn't have the same amount of rivets as the real life whatever you've done. I think the fact is that you've done something, and you can be proud of it because you've achieved it. Very rarely is anything so cut and dry in real life anyway. I mean, recent posts on Facebook showing, the number of screws in a wing, how it differs from commercial airliner to commercial airliner, where they're supposed to be and where they're not on some, and they are on others. And, I'm just blabbing on about that now. So don't need it to be too thick. It's just, actually, that's quite good that I got this sort of wispy texture now in the paint on the side. I know that I've made a bit of a botch job of the of one side, but actually having the wisp on it actually makes it look like warp plasma going through it. So on this occasion, I think it's acceptable. Right, so I'm just going to go through that side with that as well. Take off too much of the excess. Okay, move that one over to the back. This is quite a good little stand, this is. If you don't knock it all over. So, again, take some more of the blue. Let's see, I'm just going to... This is a little lip in here, which you can barely see. You're trying to get the paint over that lip and into the crevice, as well as getting it nice and flat on the side. So, having the brush sort of collect the paint over the lip is nice and easy way of doing that. Okay, so that's that side. Okay, the thing to remember is that these broad sides are not going to be seen. They are going to be sandwiched between the two bits of bronze coloured plastic. So essentially they are they're safe for the time being. I can go over the lines, I can do whatever I need to do to get them accurate on the sides. So bit of sprue there that I've just discovered as well, so it's a shame. That's alright, it'll come off with a little bit of knife work. So I'm just doing it nice big strokes up the side. There we go. So that's the sides of the two the two nacelle. I forget what they call them now, but they're basically the sides of the. I'm a Trekkie. I should know this. The warp coils is what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. So there and there. So that's the inside of the Bizarre Ram Scoop collectors. They should be blue as well, and there as well. So what I'll do with these, because they are blue in the center, but the rest of it is in the darker chrome bronze color. So I'll be doing those separately with a finer brush and leaving the blue in there. So again, I said that was quite a lot of paint. It is. It's way too much paint for me to use in this one instance. So I'm going to wash my brush. Wash brushes are good brushes, as my art teacher used to say. I wouldn't class myself as an artist in any way, shape or form. I come from a family of artists, I guess, but I didn't really pick up the gene. So I go with what I've got. And I try to put my paintbrushes somewhere that they'll dry properly, just not in my hot chocolate. Okay, so these now will be drying. And it doesn't take them too long to dry because they're acrylics and it's quite a light paint, so they will dry fairly quickly. I may actually do a second coat on them, so I will leave this paint here and do a second coat on them in a minute. For now, I'm going to take out the other two nacelle housings. I'm going to get those off the sprues, and we shall. In fact, I'll do them upside down because it's closer to the cutting mat, like that. Like that, and like that. Okay, there's one, and the other one. Do it this way. So we have Uh, we have, and at the end we have there, which is quite nice. So that sprue goes back up there, and let's take off some of the burrs on this. So there's see, we've got some burrs here and here, so I'll take those off. I'll do that very carefully with that one. Use the back. It's a little bit more to go on that one. Okay, and then okay, and then we'll do the same for this one. Right, that's that. And there's a little bit at the back. Let's take that off. Okay. And the front is actually quite nice and level, so just that's okay. That's one. Then we've got this one's number 2. So again, we've got a bit of sprue here. It's gone. We've got this little bit of sprue here. That's gone. There we go. Takes a little bit of concentration, that does. Right, then I'm just going to take the little sprue off the end, little burr off the end. There we go. That's that. Okay, I hope I didn't just bend that. I think I did a little bit, but okay. This kit is interesting, and that's all I will say. I was trying not to bend it while I was doing that, but ended up bending it anyway. So those are those two. So let's have a look. Let's get a little cotton wool swab out here and see if we are. Yeah, that's dry enough. So I'm going to just go and very, very quickly put second coat onto these. So again, just going over where we need it. Okay, and in here like that. Okay, and then up sides. Okay. Right. And there. Okay, that's one. Swap these over. That one there. That one there. Okay, and second coat on here. go. That's one side and the other side. Okay. Right. I'll tidy up this way. There we go. And again, clean my brush because clean brushes are good brushes. Okay. Good. So now that we've got these two pretty much sorted, the only thing I've got left to do now is on these Bazaar collectors, they need to have darker colours going around. There should only be really 3 blue dots on there. And they should be coming from centre, that light, and that light. So I'm going to be going around it, and I'm going to need a much finer paintbrush for this. So I think what I'm gonna do is go for this 2-0. And it's got quite a nice handhold on it, quite a nice finger grip on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this Evil Chrome. This is like a bronzy, you can see metallic-y bronze colour. And Shakewell, again, this is an acrylic, but it's a metallic. So that will look, I think, quite nice on the side. If we look at the box, we've got, so that's the 3 blue bits. So there's the main blue bit, and there's the 2 little blue bits on the side, and then you've got the dark on the inside. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. We do have to do the central disc at some point, but I need to figure out how that works before I do it. So let's get ourselves another little lid. This one has been used quite significantly by my other half, but it should be good. This should work quite well. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put just a little bit in there. Right, bearing in mind just how much that blue was. Learnt my lesson on that, so just don't need quite as much as that. So that being said, I'm now going to bring down my magnifying glass because my eyes need to focus on getting the little bits right. So bring this forward. Okay. So I need to be on there. Okay. That's not really put much on it, has it? Let's have a look. Let's do this then. So that's quite a thin little, quite a thin paint, this one. Trying not to get it onto the place where the lights should be coming from. I don't think this magnifier is actually helping me much, so I'm just going to do it the good old-fashioned way of manual intervention. What I've done there is, so this paint is quite runny. I need it thickening up a little bit. But it's actually gone right into the Bazaar collector where I didn't want it to go. So that cotton wool bud that I used earlier will go into there, and we'll have that out of there. Okay, that wasn't the right one, but anyway, that one's here. Where did I get the other one from? Who knows? Right. So what I need to do actually is I need some darker black paint, some acrylic. This is quite watery. So let me go and get some. So here we've just got some Hobbycraft acrylic black. That should, if I mixed in correctly, I don't need too much, I need a little bit. There we go. Difficult to get the right amounts, and I will use my stirry stick to stir these together. So what I'm doing is mixing the two paints together to give me a much darker version of what I'd got, but actually a much thicker version of what I'd got. I think the black's quite taken over on that one, so I might need to brighten it up again with some more evil chrome, which is bronze, isn't it? Bronze is just evil chrome, isn't it? A bit more of that in there. Let's mix that up. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Right. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll use this instead, and use a very, very neat brush. And there we go. That's much better. The concentration as I'm doing this is insane. The amount of concentration required. Right. Let me just lower this down slightly so I can see it a little bit better. And that needs to be like that. Light down a little bit so I can see better. Okay. That's not blinding the camera. So we'll get in here. That. What we want is essentially we want the blue to be shining through. We want the outer shell, the outer casing, to retain a metallic dark colour. We're using a little bit too much paint on there. I don't know actually. So let me just point the camera down slightly. So now you'll see what I'm doing here is essentially just going around with the dark paint. Two or three coats of this should be enough. but I'm just making sure that we've got the blue showing through still. So let's do the inside lid of that. That's good. There we go, that's in there. And that's in there like that. Cool. Okay. I think that's that one done. So if we compare that one with that one, now sort of see where we're going with it. Right. Now the same with this one. Again, I need to sort of in and up close and personal with it. You see, I can actually see what I'm doing. Now, the thing with this is that you can see my shakes. And that is something I've inherited from my mother, sadly enough. But it shouldn't stop me living life. Anyway, so, and this is why I say that everybody is a great modeler. Some of us don't win awards because what we do doesn't meet with the criteria set out by other people. But if we're modeling for ourselves, we're always a winner. Always a winner if you're modeling for yourself. Now, this is going a little bit better now. We do that. Now I'm going to have to do some further coats of this because it's I need to get in between there as well. It's starting to sort of run a little bit, and the transparent plastic has got this sort of water repellent. Most plastic has, to be honest, hasn't it? It's kind of got this repellent effect. So when I'm putting the paint on, it's wanting to retract and form into puddles, which obviously we don't want it to do. So there we go. So that's that. I just need to go across the front using the side of the brush to do that. And then that. The side of there. That. On the side of there. Okay, and then there. And in. Okay. Those back together again. So you can see now that it's dry, you can see this one has got a lot better sort of evil chrome or a bronzing about it. So I think that was a good call with that colour there. So let's give it a second coat because I can still see some of the blue through it. Let's go about it this way. Let's do this. Okay. Top as well. Yeah, go on there. Go down on there. You go down on there as well. That's that one. Let's go back to this one again then, shall we? Let's see how this one's coming on. And yes, it has picked up that that colouring. It's also done that retraction. I don't know what you call it. If you know what it is, just drop in the comments. Happy to be corrected. So do some of that. Some on this side. I'm talking about the water shrinkage when it goes onto plastic. I don't know what that's called. And it repeals itself like a sheet. There we go. That should do. Right. Now, what I've seen of the box is that figure out where I've put my box now because I'm forever losing things. If we look at the box, is it this box? No, it's this box. So if we look at this box, you can see that there's actually a cage over the blue inside the nacelle Bizarre Dram Scoop collector. I'm going to try and see if I can replicate that. So let's I don't know if I can or not, but I'm going to give it a go. And this is possibly the tiniest of brushes that I have, so I don't see any smaller than this. This is going to be a very, very fine operation. Let me give it a go. Right, so I'm going to take all I can off that. Right, now, very carefully, I'm going to, there we go. Okay, that's too thick, so I'm going to abandon that idea. So just using the cotton wool bud that I had here, just take out black that I've added in there. Okay, so yes, that was a failure of an idea. So that's something that I may have to do with a fine liner, possibly. I'm not sure, but yeah, certainly not something that I'm going to be able to do with any of the brushes that I've got because it is way too fine. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Okay, so that's those. Now, just noticed, looking at the box as well, that these sections here, I think they are blue as well. But let's have a look and see on the artistic drawing. Yes, they are blue as well. So I need to. They're sort of chromy, and I need to do those bits. And actually the dish with blue as well. So it's a good job I've got some blue left. Let's get those out then. So let's get the, oh, there they are. So these bits, I believe, are the ones that we're looking for. So let's have a look at the instructions. Yes, it's the outside edges along here that will be blue. So if I take the deflector dish and the two, I don't know quite what they are. I suspect they're some kind of either deflector array or reaction control thrusters. I don't know the anatomy of Don't quite know the anatomy of the Discovery enough to sort of know what we're talking about on that one. So let's get the sprues, get the burrs off this one. Okay, and that one as well. Right, that's that. And how are we doing with these? Oh, the burrs. Okay, there's 2 burrs on there. One on there. Okay, that's that one off. The other one is here. So I'm going to take this one off. There. Okay, so that off there. Then might not be able to see it very well, but there is a textured face on this side, which will be done in blue. So I will get those done as well. So this just needs deburring. Okay. So if I move these around to over this side now. Right. And they are essentially done now, so that's good. I need 3 holders. I need one over here with that. I need one over here with that. Ooh. Another one. Come out over here. That is going to be another blue inside and bronze outside malarkey. That's not going to work, is it? Oh, this could be an interesting one to support. I might actually have to do this on the end of a stick. So let us see what we can do. Actually, can I hold it on my tweezers? Oh, yes, there we go. I can hold it on the end of my tweezers. So now, we have ingenious ways of doing things, modelers. I'm going to do the whole of the inside in blue because that is where the deflector dish is, and that's where the light shines from. So on this one, I'm going to do just, you can't see it properly, but this one, I'm just going to go across here, like that, and the same for this one as well. We will go some blue on there, and we'll just go across here, trying to keep the texture on the plastic to the forefront. Okay, so back to this one again. So I'm going to the hair off my brush and just put a little bit more on the inside. Okay, think I've actually just pulled more of that off because I didn't let it dry, which is a rookie mistake, but there we go. So I'm just going to paint the whole inside of that. Okay. So, while that is drying, I'm going to wash my brush again. Clean brush is a happy brush. Okay. Have some hot chocolate. Okay. So now we can start to look at building these cells. So, we've got, I believe these two are very similar. So I need to figure out which one I'm going to be using. Come out quite nicely, actually. Come out very nicely. There's less blue on there than I wanted, however. I need to have a look at that. This one, not a lot on the bottom there, so I'm going to have to very, very quickly just tack the bottom of this one. So, and then do that there, that there. Just like that. And then leave that down there to dry as well. So, that's the thing about when you're holding things in helping hands. Obviously, there's bits of it that the helping hand are grabbing hold of. I will get my words out. So, obviously, those won't be painted, so you need to be obviously very careful when you do that. So, these are going to be there. I need to get the right. Need to get the right nacelle bit, and let's see. Is that going to be that side? I don't know actually. Or does it go into there? I think actually that does go in. Yeah, that bit goes into there. So that's the one. I think I was right this time. Never leave anything to chance though, kids. Always be careful. So this isn't going in very easily. You can see that it lines up with these holes here. Okay, but where I've painted it, going in very easily. So just having to put a bit more force into it than I usually would. But this is a snap together kit, so you know, don't usually put this much force into a standard glue kit. Right. There we go. That's that. That goes up there. That's good. And then now are these two the same? That's what I need to figure out. Are these two the same bit? Yes, they are. So I can actually use that one here. Is good. So is that going to be that way up? Or is it going to be that way up? No, I think it's going to be this way up. Because it says that the bit with the wings on the back, these wings, is at the top. And then between those wings, that goes, the two blue lights go at the bottom. So that needs to go into there. Like that. And again, don't want to use brute force and ignorance, but This is a snap kit. So let's have a look and see, shall we? I mean, it looks good, but I can't get the damn thing in. Right, let's... Right, let's try that. I suspect that's the way to go. Yeah, that's the way. That's better. Now, again, not knocking the kit at all, but this is requiring a bit more force than I would usually be inclined to put into a model. What's going on here then? Oh, that's for the nacelle. For the that's to connect the nacelle into the main body. So that's fine. That's understandable. So here we have the nacelle together. So we've got the Bassard ram scoop collectors. We've got the outer housing and the blue of the warp coils down there. There's still a little bit of light shining through there, and I don't like it. I may need to glue. It. We shall see after I've done this. So, there's one nacelle. Next nacelle coming up. So we'll need that. We shall need this. Okay, and that goes into here. Okay, and that goes on there and onto there. That was a definite snap. That was a definite snap on. So that's quite good. But also that's a definite snapping of the transparent plastic. So that's maybe not so good. Anyway, so we've got this. It goes into here. We need to make, there we go, that's again a definitive snap in, so that's good. Just need to the top of the nacelle on, or the bottom of the nacelle onto the top, should I say. So that's that. This one's definitively more snappy than the other side, I must admit. So that's that. So the one thing I will say though is this is not going. This does not like going in, so it may need some glue at some point. Just going to give it some force. No, there's still way too much light coming through there, and I don't know why. Okay, but regardless, we now have two nacelles constructed, so that is quite useful. Next thing I'm going to do is, now that I've got the blue in here, and this looks as though it's probably dried a fair amount, I'm now going to paint with some of our black, paint the rest of it. I'm going to be very careful not to destroy the circle that we've created in there, because that is the whole point of the that's the whole point of the deflector dish, is that it is a bright blue dish. Know what it does in the movie. Oh, we've got some farming scene going on in the background. It's all good. Okay. So I'm just going around the outsides of the dish now. If I don't slip. Okay. That's the outsides done. Well, the outsides of the insides, if that makes sense. So all I need to do now is go over the outside of the top and the outside of there. I don't think that will show through, if I'm honest. So I'm just doing it quite thickly and quite nonchalant. But again, you know, let's see how this goes. So that is that. That is that. Okay. That's that painted. And okay. And last thing I am going to do, last coat on these. Hold them still. These will be on the outside of the front of the hull. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So we've got our two nacelles together. The next thing we need to do is we need to ideally assemble the bridge and put it onto the secondary hull. So for that, I'm going to need to put some white into that blue to brighten it up. So I'm just going to use some of this Tamiya acrylic mini in white. Open it. Okay. I'm just literally going to. It's all nice and white in there. So I'm just going to pick some out. My brush into there. And again onto the side. And again onto the side. So I need this to be a very, very light bluey white for the bridge. As you've seen the bridge, it's got lots of consoles and it's, you know, lots and lots and lots of bleeping and blooping and lights. And so, yes, we need to. So that it in itself has only gone very sky blue. I think I need to a little bit more. And I dread to do this because I'm only doing one bit with it. But again, one bit with the wrong colour makes the whole thing stand out as wrong. So let's do this properly. Okay. Right. Okay. That's a nice, very bright white blue. Okay, so let's just get these two off. Put our nacelles over to the back because we're not going to use those just yet. Okay, so we need our two bits. So we've got 101 and 102, which is 101, 102. So let's have a look at those. Let's turn it over because it's close up. Use my own advice. Right, 102 and 101. There we go. Look out over there. And we're going to look at getting the stuff off, which actually I've done not a bad job there. Quite happy with that. Okay. This one, less so. It's a little bit, a few bits of burr on it, and it's fine. Okay. So, what we're doing with these is we are going to now paint these with this bluey white that we've mixed down here. So this is mainly for the... I'm going to do this on the inside and see how that turns out on the outside after I've done it on the inside, because these... it would turn the other way up, wouldn't it? These are the... it does let me see, so that's good. These are the bits that you see on the top of and bottom of the saucer, and these are usually radiating quite a bit of light, so we are going to, again, here, just fill this white, this bluey white. So it's definitely more painting involved than I thought in this kit, which is, it's, you know, it's quite good. I like painting. I like painting a fair bit, so, you know. Okay. And we need 9 and 10 from the standard plastics. So I think 9 is... oh, that's 10. And that doesn't look like a 10 that I know. The 10 that I'm looking for is a dome, so let's have a look at this. Okay. That's 9 there. Okay, so I found a misnumbering in the instructions. That's interesting. So in section 4, when they're referring to the bottom of the saucer section, they're referring to this part, number 11, whereas in actual fact they're referring in there to number 10. They think this is number 10, but it's actually number 11. So yes, that's not great. Again, we've got all this flashing on the side. It's quite disturbing. But yes, I do need number 10, but I also need number 11 as well. So, polar lights, you have wrong instructions, my friends. Right, so I will be cutting through this. That's quite a big one to cut through. And that one is. Mikey. There we go. So that is one sprue down that I can now get rid of and make some space. Okay, so, and then this one here needs to come off as well.